Introduction. Welcome to Gatsby's world. Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into one of the most celebrated American novels of all time, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Set in the Roaring Twenties, this story gives us a front-row seat to the glittering parties, secret longings, and the elusive chase for the American dream. So, settle in as we journey through the life of Jay Gatsby and the world that surrounded him. Meet the narrator, Nick Carraway. Let's start with our guide, Nick Carraway. Nick's a young man from the Midwest who moves to Long Island, New York, in 1922. He rents a modest house in West Egg, a place that's full of new money and ambitious dreamers. Nick is observant, honest, and most importantly, he's Gatsby's neighbor. Through Nick's eyes, we get to see not just the glitz and glamour, but also the cracks beneath the surface. The first glimpse of Gatsby. Nick's house is nothing fancy, but right next door is a mansion that looks like a castle. This is Gatsby's house, and it's always buzzing with parties. Imagine jazz music spilling into the night, champagne flowing, and people dancing with wild abandon. Yet in the middle of all this, the host, Jay Gatsby, is a mystery. Nobody really knows who he is, where he comes from, or how he made his fortune. He's like a magician in his own show, appearing and disappearing at will. Old money versus new money. To understand the world of Gatsby, you need to know about East Egg and West Egg. East Egg is home to the old money crowd, people who've had wealth for generations. West Egg, where Nick and Gatsby live, is for the new money folks. Self-made, flashy, and sometimes looked down upon by the East Egg crowd. Now, across the bay from Gatsby's mansion is the grand house of Tom Buchanan and his wife Daisy. Tom is arrogant, athletic, and rich, the very definition of old money. Daisy, Nick's cousin, is charming and beautiful, but there's a sadness in her laughter, like she's always searching for something just out of reach. Reunion and revelations. Nick reconnects with Daisy and Tom, and soon gets pulled into their complicated world. Tom is having an affair with Myrtle Wilson, who is married to George, a struggling garage owner. Tom doesn't bother to hide his affair, flaunting Myrtle in front of everyone, including Nick. One day, Nick gets an invitation to one of Gatsby's lavish parties. He's surprised to find that for most guests, the party is just an excuse to gossip about Gatsby. But when Nick finally meets the man himself, he's taken aback. Gatsby is nothing like the rumors. He's polite, almost shy, and eager to please. The green light and Gatsby's dream. But what drives Gatsby? It's Daisy. 5 years earlier, Gatsby and Daisy fell deeply in love. But Gatsby was poor, and Daisy eventually married Tom. Now, with his newfound wealth, Gatsby is determined to win her back. Every party, every grand gesture is for Daisy. The green light at the end of her dock, just across the bay, becomes a symbol for Gatsby's hopes and dreams. He believes he can recreate the past, if only Daisy will love him again. The plan. Love rekindled. With Nick's help, Gatsby arranges a reunion with Daisy. It's awkward at first, but soon the old feelings come rushing back. For a while, it seems like Gatsby's dream might come true. Daisy is swept up by his passion and the promise of a life filled with excitement and love. They begin an affair, and Gatsby is convinced that Daisy will leave Tom for him. Cracks in the dream. But reality isn't so easy to bend. Daisy is torn between Gatsby's romantic idealism and Tom's secure, familiar world. Tom isn't about to lose Daisy without a fight. He exposes Gatsby's shady business dealings, hinting that Gatsby might be a criminal. Daisy, frightened and confused, starts to pull away from Gatsby. The tragedy unfolds. The tension comes to a head on a hot summer day. Tom, Daisy, Gatsby, Nick, and Jordan, Daisy's friend, all drive into New York City. Emotions boil over. Tom confronts Gatsby, demanding Daisy choose between them. Daisy can't bring herself to say she never loved Tom, and Gatsby's dream begins to crumble. On the way home, tragedy strikes. Daisy, driving Gatsby's car, accidentally hits and kills Myrtle Wilson. Gatsby takes the blame, determined to protect Daisy at all costs. The end of the dream. George Wilson, overcome with grief and rage, believes Gatsby is responsible for Myrtle's death. He finds Gatsby at his mansion and shoots him before turning the gun on himself. In the end, almost no one comes to Gatsby's funeral. All the people who flock to his parties vanish. Even Daisy and Tom leave town, escaping the mess they helped create. Only Nick, ever loyal, stands by Gatsby in the end. Wrap-up. Lessons from Gatsby's story. So, what are we left with after the champagne bubbles fade? The Great Gatsby isn't just a story about glitzy parties or forbidden love. It's a story about dreams, how they can inspire us, but also how they can blind us to reality. Gatsby's undying hope, symbolized by the green light, is both beautiful and tragic. He believed in the idea of starting over, of reaching for the impossible, but he was also trapped by his past and by the world's harsh realities. Fitzgerald reminds us that the American dream, the promise that anyone can achieve greatness, can sometimes be just out of reach, especially when it's tied to wealth or the approval of others. The novel asks us to look beneath the surface, to question what really matters, and to remember that genuine connection and honesty are more valuable than all the glittering parties in the world. Thank you for joining me on this journey through The Great Gatsby. May Gatsby's story inspire you to dream, but also to stay true to yourself and to cherish what's real.